So it's another Tuesday, which means it's time for another video, and this time I've decided I'm going to talk about the 5 weapons that I'm actually enjoying from using the Seraph. So let's just start off with the elephant in the room, Revision 0. It seems like every week this thing is getting stronger and stronger, mostly because of this Hunter's Trace thing that we get. So if you're not in the know, then every week so far we've been getting an upgrade for this. So at the minute mine's Hunter's Trace 2. I can reforge it into a 3, and then I'm assuming when the reset comes around, which has probably happened now by the time this video goes up, we could probably get Hunter's Trace 4, making this an absolute machine. And the reason I'm saying that is because when this first came out, it wasn't exactly an amazing gun. When Hunter's Trace 3 came out, and it was around Iron Banner period, a lot of people were using this in Iron Banner, and it actually does quite a bit of damage, so I'm a bit fearful of how it's going to perform when the 4th version's out. And not to mention there's the alternative fire mode as well, which basically turns this into up to a 4-shot sniper, which is also very nice as well. If I'm going to be completely honest, I'm probably going to keep this in my inventory alongside Arbalist, because whilst I do like using Arbalist to clear out anti-barriers, this is actually an alternative way to do so. That's because it's strong against barrier champions anyways, and if it's a pulse to start with and then turns into a sniper, you can kind of see how you can get the alternative fire modes to actually deal damage when you need to. The second weapon of the pack is Tripwire Canary. This has been doing quite a bit for me lately, and I do like the fact that it is kind of like a mini Whispering Slab, kind of mixed together with a Wolf Tone Draw. And the only reason I'm saying that is because it has very similar perks to a Wolf Tone Draw. Obviously there's a few different ones, but when you have things like Explosive Head and Dragonfly, which is the role I've got, then you can kind of see the comparison I'm trying to make. And yes, this has 0 kills on it so far because I've only literally just got this role. The other role that I was using was Sneak Bow, and I forget the other trait. But when I was using it, it was very fun to use, and I tend to use it quite a lot now. I've pretty much put Wolf Tone Draw into the vault, and I've not touched it since, but I imagine that might change in the next season. But I'll just have to wait and see on that one, because I want to try this one to its fullest extent, and the role I've got for this does seem very nice. Third one of the group is the new glaive. I am actually enjoying this glaive quite a bit, and the fact that it's a solar glaive makes it all that better. I know, of course, we have Lubray's Ruin as well as a solar glaive, but this one has some unique perks that I really want to get my hands on. And this is the kind of role that I'll be looking for. So it's not exactly a god role per se, but it's a role that kind of fits for how my playstyle works. So for the basic haft, I suppose that's how it's pronounced. I've never heard that word before, but anyway, I've not paid attention. Low impedance windings. This basically increases both the shield duration and reload speed, which is ideal for me. On top of this, we also have the appended mag because I want more magazine size. I don't really want to be running around with 3, maybe 4 shots. I want to have as many as I can. And to complement this, I've also gone with overflow, obviously the enhanced version of overflow. So this basically allows me to have 8 rounds in it. Current roll of this glaive does have overflow on it, and it does work quite nicely with the glaive. This is just so I constantly have ammo in the glaive, so I don't have to worry about reloading, and I'm just running around killing ads as I need to. And then we're having the enhanced close to melee as well, because this is a surprise perk that came out with this season, and it basically allows the projectile final blows to improve the melee damage of the glaive, which is really nice, especially if I'm running into a crowd of enemies. And 9 times out of 10, you won't just be dealing with red bar ads, there will be also mages mixed in with it, which is why I've also put major spec on it as well, because dealing with the mages would just be so much easier using this. And then I want the ambush origin perk, and this pretty much comes with any glaive anyway, so the reason I'm picking this is because 9 times out of 10, if I'm using the glaive, I'm probably charging into battle. I'm not going to be using it after thinking about it for 2 seconds. And then I want to range masterwork if I can, because there is a bit of a caveat with this selection, because it has dropped the range down, but if you have the masterwork, it brings it back to where it should be. Weapon number 4, Path of Least Resistance. I actually love this trace rifle. I've probably said it before on the channel already, but this thing is really fun to use. I've used it quite a few times, and whilst this isn't really the ideal role that I want, which I'll show you guys in a minute which the ideal role is, even with this role at the minute, I am thoroughly enjoying using this gun because it just seems to melt through absolutely everything if it's a red bar ad. Obviously, you can see I've got major spec on it already because I was also using it for majors as well because they tend to group together like I mentioned with the glaive. But this is what my ideal role would be. So going for the barrel, we are going for small bore because it increases the range and stability, which is just nice all around. Enhanced battery because more magazine is always a better magazine, especially for trace rifles. Subsistent is going to be making a comeback on this because if you see a Minori Hunger video, then you know I love subsistence as a perk. Not to mention this is in the enhanced version, so we can actually get a bit more benefit out of it. And you probably saw this coming, Volt Shot, because Volt Shot is just unbelievably strong. Because not only will this then tear through literally everything, it will also cause enemies to jolt, which just cause lightning explosions everywhere. And of course, running ambush because I'm probably going to be using this in the opening moments of a fight. It just makes sense to use it that. I'm also chucking on the reload masterwork because the reload time with it being reduced is always going to be nice because this is 102 in the magazine for the trace rifle. So having a lesser reload time will be quite nice for it. And finally, whacking major spec on it because I'm probably going to be dealing with majors as well as red bar ads, which is what I'm going to use this gun for. And finally, the gun that everybody is talking about as of pretty much last week when they discovered an exploit for it. But yeah, the Retrofit Escapade. So this thing is a little bit nuts with its current exploit, and if you don't know, it's basically you can proc volatile rounds constantly with this, which just makes bosses an absolute joke. But as pretty much everybody else is saying, I fully anticipate Bungie will fix this eventually because that is definitely not intended to be the case. So bearing in mind the volatile rounds are going to get nerfed by Bungie eventually, for this weapon anyway, this is going to be the role that I'm aiming for. Starting with the barrel, there is arrowhead break because it greatly controls the recoil. Just makes sense to have it on a machine gun that fires really, really fast. Extended mag because I want a lot of bullets in this gun if I'm going to be firing it really quickly, but I'll get more into what else plays into this. 4 times the charm because there is always going to be something good about reloading your weapon whilst you're firing it. So this is ideally just something you need to have. Enhanced frenzy because it'll allow me to get more damage whilst I'm actually dealing with ads. And on top of that, it will also kind of counteract the extended mag's reduced reload time. So this would actually be a massive benefit for the specific cell. Ambush, of course, because ambush is just better than Seraph synergy in my eyes. It's not really that good. Then we have a stability masterwork because why not make it more stable than it already is? And then finally backup mag because I want even more bullets in this machine gun. But they were the 5 weapons I currently am enjoying within Destiny 2 Season of the Seraph. Obviously, a honourable mention would be the Ikelos SMG that's come out because that is something I do want to get my hands on, and a crafted roll of that because it does come with Vault Shot, and I would be interested to see how that would mix up with Warmind cells. I know Warmind cells don't really mix it in this day and age since they've been nerfed to oblivion, but I want to try them anyway and see how they perform. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like and a comment down below, but I will see you all in the next one.